Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 52 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. So, yay for day 52. Um, Today has been kind of interesting day, to say the least. I feel like I'm doing things even though I don't feel like doing things. Um, yeah. I did some writing tonight. I opened up my laptop and I just figured I was already working on recognizing God's hand in my life, and I was just going to keep working on recognizing God's hand in my life. So I started going through the next section, and I thought that I figured out some story that needed to be moved up, and I should have moved it up when I thought that's where it went, because by the time I decided to keep reading, but I kept thinking about it. So then I scrolled down to the bottom where I'd hit it somewhere, rolled it up to put it back in the story where I thought it went, and then I couldn't figure out how to make it fit, which was very frustrating to me. So then I ended up taking it out, and then I ended up putting a different part of the story up there because it seemed to fit. It seemed to flow, I think. But now I still have all these chunks of stories that it kind of like it flows together, but I'm not sure if it's all one section or one chapter or if I'm getting off topic, because I'm really good at like rambling or like starting to just kind of slowly, like I start talking about one thing and then it leads to another thing, and then the next thing you know, I'm talking about something completely different that has nothing to do with what I started it with. So, and then somehow I hope in my videos that I randomly tie it back to whatever I started with. Not really sure if I do a very good job of that. I think some days I do a better job than others, and my writing is pretty much the same, but I'm not holding out for too much. I think I spent like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes working on it tonight, and then I was like, okay, I have more ideas, not really sure where it's going. And honestly, today is a migraine day. I woke up with a horrible migraine, like the kind where you can't move migraine. And I actually decided to try to get up anyway. I took a shower, I got dressed. I was like very proud of myself for that, in spite of the fact that my head was going to explode. And I attempted to read my scriptures and meditationals. And any of you that have migraines know that occasionally your vision just kind of does weird things. So it was really kind of interesting when it decided, I was reading and all of a sudden the letters just started to spread out randomly, and I was staring at some white page and I don't know where the letters went. I'm like, and this is why I did not go to work tonight, because I did not think it was a good idea to drive like that. So, and I was supposed to go on a walk with my friend today, and I just sent her a text message or a Facebook message, whatever. I sent her a message and said, sorry, migraine, hurts to move. And that's all I sent, because honestly, just to look at the screen on my phone, I thought my head was going to explode. I would have been perfectly okay if she didn't even respond back to me. And she's like, oh yeah, it's the weather, it's raining, it's all cloudy, and there's some whatever in magnet thing or whatever in the atmosphere today. And I was like, I don't even understand what any of that is. All I know is that I can't move. So I'm not going anywhere. So I laid on my couch, and then I was feeling guilty because I needed to work on Christmas stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to take to do this Christmas stuff. And I was like, I need to do this. And it just wouldn't get out of my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can hardly even move. And I'm thinking about all the stuff that I have to do. Like, can I just not have a day off? I would love to just have a day off. And honestly, in the past, I think I've just let myself have days off, but then I would always just feel guilty about it because I haven't done anything or worked through things or whatever things. I don't know. And today, I'm like, I have a perfectly good reason to have the day off, and I'm just like, but I don't want the day off. I have too many things I want to get done. And so like I said, I showered, I read my scriptures and meditationals. I didn't write in my journal last night, so I wrote in my journal this morning. And sometimes I think my headaches are from stress or other things. So I thought if I wrote about stuff from whatever yesterday or the things that were going good, that I could just write in my journal, get rid of whatever feelings, guilt, things, whatever are floating around in there. And I'm writing in my journal, and I'm like, okay, I was feeling so. My head was still kind of, and there were a few times where I literally had to stop because I couldn't see the page and I couldn't hold the pen in my hand, which was a little bit frustrating. So I was like, okay, journaling is not helping my head feel better. And then there were a couple other times where things would pop into my head and I'm like, oh, I need to text people. I need to reach out to people. So I stopped what I was doing and did that too. And because I'm trying to learn how to just follow those promptings, those little thoughts that the Spirit's sending to me saying, do this, do that. I'm like, I'm trying. And I wished I'd done that with my book tonight when I knew where to put that part of the story, because it probably would have fit. And then I went back through and it didn't fit. So I don't know, I missed something. And my head hurts too bad to keep going back through and reading the same thing. Because the problem is, instead of going back through and just reading it again to figure out where it fit, I was trying to like skim it. And I can't stare at the screen and skim, especially when I don't skim very well anyway. I always skip words. I have issues with reading comprehension. Sometimes I have to reread things multiple times. I swear I have like this delayed reaction process in my brain. And I keep trying to put a story in there about that, and it's just not working. So I'm like, maybe it just doesn't belong in there. It's a funny story, I think, in retrospect. It wasn't really funny at the time, but maybe it just doesn't go in my book. That's probably what happens. I do have to delete some things, take some things out, move some things around, whatever the case may be. So I did that. But my brain doesn't always, well, it doesn't always function anyway, but it just doesn't focus when it's hurting. So, and there was no way I could stare at the screen long enough to sit there and reread the same words again. And if I'm squinting and making ugly faces at you, I did that one time when I worked at I worked in the remittance department of a bank, and we opened letters, and somebody there asked me why I was glaring at them. I was like, I'm not glaring at you. I'm like, I just have a headache and I'm just trying to squint from the lights. So if it looks like I'm glaring into the camera, it's just because my head hurts and not because I'm like angry. I'm actually very calm, and I actually feel surprisingly, I'm in a good mood. And usually when I have a headache and I don't feel good, I'm just really ornery, and I'm just waiting to be really ornery, because like Monday I woke up and I was just ornery for no reason, and I had reasons to be ornery today because I don't feel good, or yesterday because I didn't sleep, and instead I feel great. I'm like, this is what I get. I prayed that I could have an attitude adjustment, and I could see the immediate response and answer to that prayer, which doesn't always come that immediately. And not only has it come, but it's persisted for multiple days now. I think I like it. I think it's a good thing because I can still laugh in spite of having a headache. And I did at some point finally cave, and I did start working on a Christmas project for my nephew. I told my sister-in-law I was going to make them something the same thing for my nephews, just different colors. And I was going to do the same thing for my brother and sister-in-law, but they wanted something different. So I'm like, okay, I'll make those. That's cool. No big deal. And I figured it was going to take longer to make the ones for my brother and sister-in-law. And I figured since I don't feel very good and it doesn't take as much effort to make the ones for my nephews, I'll make the ones for my nephews. Only apparently it takes just as long to make the ones for my nephews as it does the ones I'm making for my brother and sister-in-law. But it doesn't require as much thought process. I don't have to think as much when I'm doing the ones for my nephews, but they're just bigger, so it takes longer, which I didn't think about that. So I was like, oh, this takes forever, because I thought I would be done, and then I'm just frustrated that I'm not done, or that I didn't work on it sooner, and I was like, whoa, I need to stop right there. Like, whoa, Nelly, stop, because I have a headache. And I kind of fell asleep on my couch, which isn't the most comfortable, but it felt better than not, whatever. And then I woke up because I'd made the mistake of twisting my blinds open, and the sun actually decided to come out from behind the clouds. And then it made my head hurt worse. So then I had to get up to close the blinds. So, and I'm probably actually going to try to go to bed when I'm done with this video, because I feel tired enough that I might actually be able to sleep. And oddly enough, the later it gets at night, the better I feel, because I'm a night owl. So I think my body's just like, oh, we have to be awake. So even though my head still hurts, it's not as bad as it was when I woke up this morning. And now it's like I'm awake, but I'm like, I don't want to torture myself and stay awake. I want to try to actually sleep when it's dark outside, if my head will let me. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I can't look directly at bright lights, and right now the light from my living room behind me is reflecting into my camera. And that is an unpleasant feeling. So I apologize for the glaring and the eye closing for most of this video, because I have gotten more comfortable at watching myself make these videos and laughing at how ridiculous I look. So feel free to laugh at how ridiculous I look. Please don't be offended by my closing my eyes and glaring at you. It's not you. It's my head. It's me. I promise it's me. Yeah, this is my old camp shirt with an elephant on it. I don't think you can see it. There you go, elephant. It says it's a jungle out there. I needed it today because that's how I feel. But like I said, I still took a shower, got dressed, put earrings in, like I was going to face the day, and then I laid down on my couch and put ice on my head and fell asleep, and then messaged my friend and told her I wasn't going anywhere today. So maybe tomorrow will be better as far as getting out of my house, because it's good for me to get out of my house and go to work and be around people and do things. I always feel better when I get to do that. So I was going to write in my journal twice today. I put that on my to-do list, but I may not. I am still undecided on that. Just the extra, the thought process is a lot harder. When my head hurts, it's harder for me to think. So the fact that I actually sat down and spent like 40 minutes reading through my book and finding a place for at least one of my random stories to fit into my book made me feel pretty good. The fact that I could actually focus long enough to do that, I'm like, that's pretty amazing. That I can sit here and do this video is pretty amazing to me. So I'm very grateful for God for helping me to do this, to follow through on my goals, to still be able to work on things even when I don't feel good. And I know it's good for me to take care of myself too. I put that on my to-do list today, to take care of my head and be gentle with myself. So I'm trying to do that. I don't feel bad that I spent several hours just laying on my couch doing nothing, or just watching a few Christmas movies, although some of those hurt too. Just the random loud noises or the random change in the color of the screen. I wasn't actually watching most of the time. I was paying attention to the project I was doing, so it was more like background noise, kind of distraction. Because sometimes if I can distract myself from the pain, I forget that I'm in pain. I'm very good at that, but my head is very good at reminding me that it hurts. So, which is what it was doing when I was reading my scriptures and all the letters disappeared, or when I was writing in my journal and all the lines disappeared, and I'm like, oh, lovely. Now I can't see what I'm doing because everything is just blurred out for the moment. It's like I'm not wearing my glasses even though I'm wearing my glasses. It's kind of a little bit freaky experience if you've ever had migraines. So I'm sure you understand. If you haven't, you are very lucky. You should feel very blessed, and you should thank God you do not get migraines. Seriously. That is one thing I don't know if I never understand. I'm like, people that get drunk and they end up with hangovers. And from what I understand of hangovers, they sound very much like migraines. And I'm like, why would you ever drink something or take something that would make you feel that horrible the next day? I just don't understand that. Maybe it's because I get migraines, horrible migraines, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes it doesn't matter what I take or what I do. I have no control over them. I have no control over the weather, and the weather decided to be nasty today, and I should have known that because one of my friends texted me last night and said that it was raining. She's like, be careful out there, because she didn't know I didn't go to work last night. So she thought I was out driving in the rain, and I'm like, thanks. I didn't know it was raining. I haven't seen any rain outside my house or heard any rain outside my house. Doesn't mean that it didn't rain today, but I sure saw the clouds, and I sure felt the pain in my head. And, I've heard that if you stand in the grass and do things like that, that getting close to nature can actually be very healing for your body and get you like recentered and things like that, which is awesome. I just wish the stormy, cloudy days wouldn't just mess up my head, especially when I'm not actually outside in it. I don't quite understand how nature can have that kind of effect, but it does. Our bodies are somehow connected to that. I don't know. I don't understand. But I guess we're all God's creations, and that's how it's all connected somehow. I'm not one of those scientists or things. I don't know how any of those things work. I just hear random things, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds like it makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not. I should stop repeating things I don't know and don't understand. So I apologize. I don't understand what I'm talking about. So I probably need to stop talking, because I know I don't think clearly when my head hurts. I don't think clearly when I'm tired. I just get silly when I'm tired. So now I think I'm tired and my head hurts. So I'm just kind of not thinking clearly and I'm silly and you're probably wondering why I'm still rambling. So I apologize. But at least I did day 52 of my video today because I did some writing. Yay. And now I'm going to go to bed if my head will let me. So I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, maybe some writing. And if you're having a bad day, take care of yourself, take a day off, whatever you need to do. And if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, you can share with other people. Feel free to comment or laugh at me and my insanity. I do it all the time. It's what gets me through it. Anyway, have a great day.